So tell us a bit about the Kingsman and what the attraction was for you.
Well, the attraction was for me, well, you know, Mark MIllar and I did the comic book together. One thing I'd never done in my long career in comics was a spy story. I'd done lots of superheroes and action and science fiction, but I'd never done a spy movie. And it was just great to work in that genre because it's got all the action, it's got all the style, it's got the gadgets, it's got the humour, and it's a thing that we're all familiar with, that we grew up with spy movies, so we get a lot of the in-jokes.
Is it a throwback then to those spy genre films and TV shows that we grew up with?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a throwback. It feels very modern, very, very contemporary. I think the humour and the action and the story really relate to modern day. But you know, we've all got this idea of what spies do and secret agents do, and this is like, if it was really true, what would it be like? And that's what we do in the movie.
Is it all done from your point of view, or did you actually take any kind of examples from the actual spy world, or did you just try and avoid that?
Well, no, I mean, inevitably every Christmas I've watched James Bond, and whenever there's Michael Caine on in the Ipcrest File or something, I always like to watch that, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and all those things. They're kind of embedded in our DNA, just like superheroes are embedded in our DNA. So I didn't do any particular preparation. I just tried to draw upon the things that I felt looked really cool and use those when I drew the comic book.
And how do the new Bond films fit into that? Are they too modern, or are they not quite as they were?
Well, it's kind of difficult, isn't it? I can see why they've wanted to modernise them in one way, because in a way, sort of the Bourne movies have eaten their lunch, you know, and that's kind of what a contemporary spy movie would look at. But I think what I want from a Bond movie is gadgets, and he gets the girl, and he's very suave and cool. And I think anything that goes close to that is what I'm looking for in one of those movies.
Excellent. Now, if you can tell us a bit about the cast as well. It's an amazing cast lined up. Were they people you had in mind beforehand, or how early in the process did they come on board?
No, well, when Mark and I started doing the comic book, there were no actors cast at all. We had a vague idea that it may become a movie because Mark had plotted it all out with Matthew Vaughn. But I had completely different people in mind. I actually had an actor called Jason Isaacs who's done some wonderful stuff. I like that kind of tough, squaddy kind of look. But as it happened, Colin Firth got cast, which is just wonderful, and to see him doing action stuff is such a revelation. And I mean, and any movie that's got Samuel L. Jackson can't really go wrong. And Michael Caine, I mean, and not only the established actors, but Taron Egerton and all the other faces in it just fit the parts so well and absolutely get it and absolutely really enjoy themselves in the parts.
Excellent. And finally, what are you and Mark working on next?
Well, Mark and I may well be working on a sequel to this. We're not sure yet, but I'm really, really interested in new storytelling technologies. I'm working with a company called Madefire doing digital comics. I'm with another company called Magic Leap, and we're doing some really quite revolutionary technical stuff to do new forms of storytelling. So my interest is in that area at the moment.
Okay, and have you got anything in mind in terms of which direction you want to take the sequel, or is it still completely a blank page?
Oh, that's completely a blank page. I mean, there are sort of some interesting ideas that suggest themselves, and of course, particularly having seen the movie and seen things in the movie that are slightly different than what we did in the comic, that's kind of inspiration in itself. So watch this space, really.
Excellent. Well, thank you, and I love the film. So,
okay, thanks.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks very much for your time.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey